volume of reviews, number of reviews, are the ones that typically get the most business. The problem that exists for many companies is they're unaware of this whole process. They think that they're passive observers to it, and those that are those that are aware of it. There are many that aren't even aware of how the power of being able to use the system to garner new leads, to garner new opportunities, and more importantly, to prevent the loss of business that's going to their competitor. So we created a system called ReviewManagement.com. It's one of the other investments that Patriarch, which is the holding company for all of these, helped to create. And what ReviewManagement.com does is it helps any business. And in America, there's about 20 million small businesses, and in Canada, there's a significant number. I forget the actual total, but it's in the millions. Certainly in the EU, it's enormous. And so it helps businesses find the reviews that exist for their business. It helps businesses collect new reviews from their ongoing customers. And then it helps to syndicate the good quality reviews to the 50 or 60 review sites that exist, all at the same time while monitoring if new reviews happen.
Wow.
So with the push of a button, you can find every review that exists online. With that same push of the button, it will email all of your past customers. It will monitor the good. It will take the good reviews. Any review that may not be a 4 or 5 star, it quarantines it so it never gets syndicated. And the ones that are good, it syndicates it all throughout the web. So what you get are all these directories now that suddenly will begin to rank higher on Google for the key terms that matter related to your business. You're going to get a lot of new traffic. You're going to get a lot of new business because you're far more credible, and you prevent your competitor now from stealing what would have been your business because you show up with good quality reviews and a higher volume of reviews, and all at a price point that costs you about a tenth of what it would cost you to hire a full-time person. So this business is growing like crazy because businesses that are going after it and using it are growing from it, and they're preventing themselves from getting hijacked by competitors.
I would imagine one of these sites that you're talking about. Let's see. The one that comes to mind is Angie's List.
Yeah, well, that's one of the ones that it will syndicate to. Is Angie's List. Yelp, it syndicates. It syndicates to most of the big ones, City Search, etc. Google, obviously. And, the average business person just doesn't have the time. They don't have, or they don't necessarily want to spend another $2,000 to $4,000 a month to hire someone to do this process because it's time-consuming. It's labor-intensive, and it takes work, and it needs to be done correctly so that it's going to be effective. And so, to have an application that is advanced technology that with a push of the button does all of this and protects them 24/7 and ensures that they get new leads to grow their business, it's really a godsend. And it's exciting for so many reasons because of that. And it's and it ties in with this whole movement of social media, which is not going away. It's only going to get bigger.
How soon after starting with this system would a company or a business start to see positive results?
Our average business that we work with begins to see positive results the first 90 days, meaning they see a tremendous increase in the number of reviews. They see a tremendous increase in the number of listings that show up on Google, traffic, leads, etc. And the biggest factor as well, which is that they begin to start seeing their business grow and prevent the types of opportunities that would have gone to them, but had gone to the competitor, begin to come back.
How important is good search engine optimization these days? And I understand that Google is going to be making some changes when it comes to outside search engine optimization companies.
Google has, for I think the last 10 to 15 years, been playing this cat and mouse game with businesses that have specialized in search engine optimization. At digitalmarketing.com, we certainly have a division that focuses on this, and it's done using white hat techniques. And for people that are at home, that run a small business, run a medium-sized business, or even a large business, it's important to recognize that search engine optimization is really a way of capturing attention on a key term by key term search basis within the first several pages of Google when someone does a specific search. And typically right now, when someone does a search, let's say it's for women's shoes, there will be 7 to 10 different advertisers that show up and a host of different slots that are, quote, the organic side. And organic meaning it's published by Google, they're not advertisers. What Google has done is they've continued to put more real estate for the advertisers, less real estate available for companies that want to show up organically, and far more real estate for websites that are more about neutral guidebooks, or Wikipedia, or things that don't necessarily push a specific commercial approach. So in many ways, search engine optimization is harder than ever. In other ways, it's more effective than ever because of that. And Google also has tried to shut down the ability for businesses to analyze the traffic that comes in. So they figured that if they could make it difficult for someone to not see by analyzing the traffic on their website whether that traffic is coming in through organic search versus advertising, that people would be less interested in doing SEO and organic search. And to some level, that's true. They have. But the more sophisticated you are, the more you recognize that organic search is not going away, that it's still powerful. Those are the ones that are continuing to invest and investing big dollars because it means real business, especially if you can do it in a credible way. It's harder than ever before, though. If you try to cut corners, Google will figure it out. They will penalize you on some level, either small or large. And so you want to do it with an ethical firm that has a lot of experience, that has strong depth and knowledge, and so that you don't get yourself banned and your website doesn't get damaged, because that can even affect your ability to advertise. And so, the days of cutting corners, the days of, quote, spam-related techniques, they're long gone.
Well, once again, we're saying that 5 guys or 8 guys are basically pointing the finger and saying, yeah, you live, you die, yeah, you live, maybe. I'm not sure about you. We'll come back to you. It seems that they have way too much control.
They have a lot of power, and not only do they have a lot of power, but they're investing for the future, and these are very smart people. So let me tell you about some of the things that they're investing in. They're investing in robotics. They're investing in artificial intelligence. They bought one of the largest military robotic operations in the U.S. who had contracts with the military that can do some tremendously interesting things, including carrying very large, heavy packs of military equipment up mountains and traverse it and stay balanced, all the way to devices that can outrun at a faster level than what a cheetah could do, so very high speed, robotic devices, as well as artificial intelligence. So the goal is at some point to develop a machine that will be smarter than humans, and it's coming. I mean, there's no question there will be a time within the next probably 2 decades where machines supersede man and man's ability to think. And that brings up a whole host of additional questions from a public policy standpoint. What is safe? What is reasonable? Are we entering into this world of the Terminator with Skynet, where at some point, the machines just take over? Already in Japan, there's devices that are robotic in nature that are self-replicating, meaning they can build itself. So these are ethical and moral concerns that need to be studied now before it becomes too late. And then there's the whole question of work. If you have machines that can do human tasks, and you have them in mass, how are people going to support themselves? What will happen to capitalism? What will happen to the economy when jobs become even more limited? The arguments by Kurzweil and others that are smart futurists and even some economists say that technology has always been one to enable future jobs through the efficiency that it brings. But that didn't consider, manufacturing. So that's a whole interesting set of debates about, what may or may not come of this. My sense is that we will still find a way to find more sophisticated jobs and other types of things that only humans can do. But it will be a challenge, and it'll need to be ultimately governed on some level by the government.
What about these people who actually are working on projects where the computer will hold the very essence of your soul, and you'll live in the world of virtual reality forever?
I think that's coming too. I think that you will have the ability to map someone's choices and their values and how they may process and how they may think and how they might react and even some of their language patterns. But I think it will be difficult to ever map someone's soul because, that presupposes that you can tap something that people may not even know themselves. You and I, may be very articulate in certain areas, but I think we would even be hard pressed to guess what might be the exact topic we'll be talking about, in an hour.
Certainly.
Or 2 hours or 3 hours. So, I think that they'll get there to some degree, but I doubt it will be to the same level until you get some hybrid combination of organic, system, mix, and then also the whole question of what part of the soul may be spiritual. There's a whole religious question of at what point, is the soul, just driven from your anatomy and your physiology, and can you really map something that's ephemeral?
A lot of questions. The future looks bright. In your opinion, we've got about a minute before I have to go for my next break. In your opinion, what is going to be the next leaping area that we're going to watch in the Internet?
Well, I think the big area of the Internet that's coming, and you touched on it a little bit, is this whole concept of virtual reality and interacting. And so being able to feel and see things in real time. So, for instance, one of the reasons that Facebook bought this system, that they bought this Oculus, was, they can now purchase a seat at the Super Bowl, front row, and the guy can, the cameraman can be wearing an Oculus device and film the entire game, and you can, on the beach somewhere, have an Oculus on the Mediterranean in Europe, watch the game in real time, and maybe even wear a suit and feel some of the feelings that may be going on, the smells, you could smell it, everything, and be able to literally look around. And not only that, but to do it with your friends.
All right,
one may be in Sweden and one may be in California.
Eric, we've got to take our final break. Let's finish this conversation on the other side of this break as we continue here in the X Zone with Eric Schiffer and yours truly, Rob McConnell. Don't go away. With each new extreme weather event or terrorist act, it becomes increasingly obvious that we live in uncertain and challenging times. We all buy car insurance. Why not collapse and catastrophe insurance? Matthew Stein, an MIT-trained engineer and green builder, has written 2 outstanding books to help people prepare, plan for, and deal with everything from minor situations lasting a few days to full-on collapse. Matt's first book, When Technology Fails, is a manual for self-reliance, sustainable living, and surviving the long emergency. This massive book covers the gamut from first aid and emergency preparedness to alternative healing, renewable energy, primitive living skills, and 18th century technologies that could be critical to your comfort and survival in a long-lasting crisis. Matt's second book, When Disaster Strikes, is a comprehensive emergency preparedness handbook and survival guide. When Disaster Strikes is an essential item for every family's go bag. Both books are available at all usual sources. There's a wealth of totally free information posted at whentechfails.com, and author-signed copies may be purchased at mattstein.com. That's www.whentechfails.com and www.mattstein.com.